This is the house we're trying to build at the farm, but we have a major problem. Once they finished pouring concrete into the foundation, they had to wait for a week, and then it was time to build the walls of the house. After a few days, the house started taking shape. Today was the day that I had to make that dreaded call. Yes, Taonga, Debi. Kubasa kuri bosses. Right, inzwaka yoyo. Saka iwe wati zvidhina zvinoita kuti imba ipere is 10,000, ndizvo? Anokuita overestimated up. Kuti ungosala uri safe.
10,000.
Right, pozoda ma-door frame handiti? Ko paroof apa unozonitaura kuti paroof pari kufamba sei keyo?
Mira ndigo, mira mamaji ndo munhu ndikote mamaji mira ndo.
Oh. You see, when I saw all the bricks being delivered, and these were 10,000, I really thought that these 10,000 bricks were going to build at least the complete house. But, of course, I underestimated it. So now I'm told that we need another 10,000 bricks. And this in total is going to cost about $2,000. So 5,000 bricks cost about 750, and then transport is about between 350 to 400. I mean, can you imagine 300 just to transport bricks? I think I'm in the wrong business. I might even decide to go into the transport business, transporting these bricks, because I can't believe that each time you need bricks, it's going to cost this amount. But anyway, I digress. So you see, I was given the estimates of how many bricks this was going to take. So please, I know you might be thinking that the builders are trying to pull a scam on me or anything. They told me that it's going to take close to, 15 to 20,000 bricks. But in my head, I thought 10,000 were going to finish the whole thing, because when you look at 10,000 bricks, they look like it's a lot. But anyway, that was me. So, of course, everything was well managed on the ground. Definitely no bricks were missing throughout the construction of this house. So here's the thing now, and this is the reality that I'm now facing, because I've never built a house from the ground up. Never. So the one thing that I've realized is you got to have the finances in place. You got to have finances in place. Right now, my biggest challenge is I don't have the 2,000 that's needed to take this house from the level where it is now to the final stage before we add the roof on. I don't have that money, and we're talking about 2,000 here. So I've been looking at my expenditure while I'm here in the UK, and I've realized that I have a lot of subscriptions, and some of these subscriptions I hardly use them. Every time I say, you know what, I'll cancel later, but all these things add up. Now, when I added up all my subscriptions, it came to a total of about £120 per month. So we're talking about Netflix. I've got Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple TV, Prime, Amazon Prime. I've got Fitness Plus. I mean, all these subscriptions. I mean, I haven't even started talking about my software subscriptions. So all these are just draining money silently in the background without me even realizing it. So this particular stage where I'm at, where I was supposed to make sure that the funds are ready for the next stage, which is the bricks. It's made me realize that when it comes to spending money, it's very, very important to take a closer look at the money that's going out, because it all adds up. You know, $15 here, £10 here, £15 here, £20 there. It all adds up. So I can see that this £120 can go a long way. It's quite close to even paying my council tax. I mean, do you see how crazy that is? Anyway, so now I need to raise $2,000. $2,000 in 1 week. Ideally, I want these guys back on the ground on Monday. Back on the ground and then start building on Monday. So between now and then, I really have to be creative in making extra money that is going to accumulate until I get this 2,000. So I have a few ideas. And again, this is why it's very, very important to have different sources of income. In my case, I'm now having to be forced to create these or be active in them. So the first one is this particular YouTube channel. And guys, I would really appreciate if you share this video and share all my videos for that matter, because this YouTube channel is its own source of income. Because so far it's about $200 a month. I mean, I don't really get a lot from this YouTube channel, but what I've noticed is when I don't post, the income takes a nosedive. It really goes low. When I start posting regularly, you know, my advertising funds or my amount on YouTube increases, the AdSense. So the plan now is to release 2 videos or 3 videos per week, as compared to just keeping quiet for 6 weeks and then coming back and then trying to, you know, do all of them in one go. No, I'm going to space them out and become more regular, so that at least this can become a serious source of income. If I can get this to about, say, roughly $1,000 a month, this can go a very long way. So I'm going to now start taking this very, very serious. As I mentioned, I'm only at about $200 per month currently. The second source of income is I have web design skills. So I'm going to start approaching companies and design websites for them. Perhaps I may need about 1 or 2 companies, and that will take care of the $2,000 that I need by next Monday to sort out these bricks. So I mentioned cutting off unnecessary expenditure and adding more sources of income. Now I also need to make a note of exactly what's happening there on the ground, and that is there's one thought where I was saying to myself, why not just buy all the bricks in one go? But of course, if you do that, then you realize that there's 2,000 bricks left over. I know I can use those 2,000 bricks elsewhere, like perhaps maybe dig another well or something. But you know, when you're on a tight budget, it's very, very difficult. So this scenario that I'm in is very familiar, because I've seen a few people talk about it. So you can imagine if you're planning your retirement and you get to this stage, but you only have one source of income, which is your main job. This can become a really, really big challenge, because the only way to finish building is to either work overtime, where you get more taxed, or you borrow. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you'll notice that I do not like taking loans or using credit cards. I mean, I've been bitten once and never again. Never again. That's just my business principle. I do not mess around with loans and try to use that to build something that's not making me money right away. I mean, if I take a loan right now for, let's say, 10,000, am I going to make money with that house? Absolutely not. If I take a loan to buy a car, will I make money right away? Absolutely not. So these are the sort of things that personally, of course, I know we may differ in how we approach things in life, and I'm fine with that, but I'm just talking about myself here. Loans for things that don't bring income or at least bring income later on in life, I mean, for me, it's a no-no because it's a drain. Because the moment you start paying interest, you're paying interest on something that's not making you money back. So it's a lose-lose situation. So that is why I don't like credit cards. I don't like company loans or business loans or even loans from the bank. So that's not even in the equation. So if you're someone that wants to build back home and you've taken a loan, you'll find that if you haven't finished building, pretty much you're going to be stuck because you only have one source of income. So in my case now, I'm trying to really activate my different sources of income, which sometimes I feel a bit lazy, to be honest with you. You know, it's summertime right now, it's warm outside, and sometimes on the weekends I just feel like, you know what, I'm going to put some cold drinks in the fridge, sit outside and just talk on over a cold drink. So that is time that is being wasted because I just want to chill. Now, I'm not saying this is the situation most of the time because for the most part, I'm always working, but I'm saying I was a bit lazy on some of these other sources of income. So now I have to really take them serious because as you can imagine, the bricks are the next stage to finish off up to above the window level, okay, to the roof level, right? But there's also going to be timber that's going to be needed, door frames, windows. Now these windows are custom made. They have to be measured, custom made windows. That as well is going to be a huge cost. And then plastering. You know, just thinking about it, it's going to be crazy. But you know what? I'm not too crazy about the plastering. These are those cosmetics, which I don't care, to be honest. I'd rather plaster once I have something that's generating money on the farm. The place has to be livable right now, and then all the cosmetic stuff can always be done later. Even the tiling, I'm just thinking the tiling is only going to go into the toilets and the bedroom. Everywhere else, that has to wait because, you know, we can't afford to put all the money into the house, right? Because it's expensive. Already. I'm not rushing because I don't need to show off this house to the world that, look, my house is so beautiful. No, that will be done on time. This has to just be livable. At the same time, you know, I also have to bear in mind that there's going to be batteries I need to buy. We're talking about batteries at 1,048 volt batteries. We're talking about roughly $1,000 each, and I need about 3 or 4 at the farm because I'm going to be powering the pumps, the lights throughout the whole night. It's going to be powering a lot of things, including the house as well. So that's all costs that I need to consider before everything becomes comfortable. So just the batteries alone, we're talking about 4,000. Right, the solar panels, you know, I'm going to need quite a lot. That on its own is going to probably cost about between 1,500 and 2,000, including the fitting. And then we're going to talk about the inverter itself. Now, you know, I like high quality inverters. I don't just buy these normal Chinese brands. I use, you know, Victron, and those can be very expensive too. So as you can imagine, there is so much that needs to be in place, which means my main business alone and the salary I pay myself in that business is not enough for me to rely on for this house to be built, because the goal here is for the house to be built, complete, and then we get the projects up and running. I like the idea of one of our subscribers that commented in the video description yesterday, saying that if you want to do onions, then you need to grow them from the seeds yourself, because if you go to the nursery, it's quite expensive. And I'm really considering that, because I'm thinking right now, if I were to get someone who's good at it, pay them for a month, they, you know, make sure I do everything that's needed for the onion seeds to ready to get planted on the ground. I think that would be a very, very good stage. Now, there's also another area that I think I can make money from, and that is advertising. You know, I hardly advertise anything. In fact, I think I advertised the CCTV guy on the channel, And I've been talking to him, every now and again, and there are a few people that are contacting him for work. So that model actually works. So what I'm thinking of doing now is to partner with some companies, especially companies that provide services to farms and perhaps even building. So I'm looking at partnering with companies, borehole drilling, for example, fencing, seeds, the tractor, for example, the company that makes the tractor. Because what triggered this idea was a lot of you were asking where I got the tractor from and how much. Right now, I'm going to be honest with you. This tractor was bought on the ground. I don't know exactly which company. Which company it is. I will have to find out, and I'll share that information as soon as possible. But this was bought on the ground, and I was actually surprised that a lot of you were interested in it. That is why I didn't even go into detail to find out exactly where it was bought and so on and so forth. Now, there was also one comment where someone said, I'm going to struggle with the fuel and everything. This thing is so fuel efficient. Fuel is not even an issue, right? The repairs, for those of you that have seen how a motorbike works, the engine is similar to a motorbike engine, nothing special. I think it's about 4 horsepower, if I remember well. It's about 4 horsepower. So it is worth buying it if you're going to be plowing and preparing the land, because it also does ridges as well, which is fantastic. So what else? Yeah, so partnerships is going to be a big deal, because partnering with companies now, as you can imagine, I wouldn't want to partner with people that are not reliable. And this is the reason why I had not announced this earlier on, because a company can do a good job for me, but as soon as they start getting more work, they can start disappointing the customers, and then it all comes down to me, and then it looks like I was pushing the idea of promoting a company that is not good anyway. So that in itself is a problem for me, because it is very, very difficult to get reliable people in Zimbabwe who are professional as well. So if I do decide to work with companies, it has to be companies that have built a name for themselves and who are constantly producing results. So that's another way I'm going to be trying to add to my sources of income, because I really, really need this. I can't wait for this farm to start producing, really tangible results, because it's been a while now. And at the moment, I can see the cover is there, but as a source of income at the moment, not quite. We're not really there, because every week now we're averaging $100 a week, and that's not even enough to even think about seriously as a source of income. But of course, things are going to change. We're going to increase more space on the land and introduce even more vegetables, right? More covers, because I envision trucks coming over there to harvest once every week. That to me will be my ideal situation. So I'm waiting until I get to that position. But if not, that's fine. I'll go into a lot more profitable products and see how that goes. But the struggle is on. And right now, the focus is on getting 2,000 by next week, Monday. That's a huge challenge. So the conditions are no borrowing, no credit cards, just purely looking for work on the ground. I am going to be going out there talking to companies on the high streets to build them websites. I wish I could record it, but I think that's going to be a bit tricky. And also, I am going to be producing more videos here on the channel. I've already cut down all these unnecessary subscriptions, and I may even get rid of some of the gear that I have, sell it on eBay or something. That's what I'm definitely going to do, because I've got a lot of things here that I don't need to use, that I don't use anymore. So I need to raise that money. At least if I see the house at the roof level, that's going to really make me feel a bit more inspired and excited. Because this project alone, seeing it on the cameras and seeing videos from the ground, I mean, it's really got me very, very excited. Anyway, guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the video description below. If you know where I can get timber, please let me know, because I'm told that this is going to be very, very, very expensive. So if you know, or you have any tips on how I can get this timber, I'd really, really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments box below. And if you have any other ideas that I could use to generate more money from what I have, existing right now, maybe Ruwa Organic Platinum membership, which gives you, I don't know, perks, into organic foods. I don't know. It's right now I'm just on a brainstorming situation where I need to see what I can put together and make a really serious source of income. Anyway, guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments box below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and this video will be continued. Take care.